Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Houston Element Podcast. My name is Missy, and I'm your host. And today, I have the lovely pleasure to share time and space with another one of Houston's finest. We have local recording artist band, Tracing Paces.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Woo!
Hello.
Tracing.
How's it going, guys? What's up, man?
It's
going
going pretty
good,
good,
yeah.
actually. Yeah, we're just getting busy, getting ready to be busy as far as studio stuff, festivals, and just general band stuff. Like even social media has been taking up our time before we even knew it. Yeah,
Oh, God, you were preaching to the choir, honey.
Not
You were
enough
preaching to the
time.
choir.
not enough time in the day for all the social. I mean, imagine having to make 6 reels in one day and then all this. It seems easy, but it's hefty, man. And then ideas and all that, creative on the spot. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So one by one, can you introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll start then. I'm Mateo Maldonado. I play guitar in the band. I've been in it for pretty close to a year now.
Yeah.
And I'm just super psyched to be here with the #1 podcast in Houston. And go ahead, my brother.
I'm Jason Anthony, the singer for Tracing Paces, and I was the original founder of the band, and super excited to be here and with the best podcast in Houston.
All right, my name is Alex. I'm their new bassist, actually. So I've been here a couple months, maybe. And I'm just excited to see where this band takes us. So see what we come up with music-wise.
We're coming up with it already, man. You've written a couple of your own tracks in there, too. You've already made your mark on the band, you know?
Hey, yo.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So things are getting pretty serious, man. Okay. They're like, okay, no, this stuff is fresh. We need to present this. That's wonderful, man.
Yeah, it was crazy, too. I think, well, how long did it take? Maybe 5 months to come up with the tracks? Yeah. So we had an EP that we released in May, and that took about 5 months to create all the songs and then have them recorded was another time. With Alex, we wanted to start creating new stuff, and I think within maybe 2 weeks or something, we already had a new track. And then we come back from a show, and then we had an idea for another one, and he's sending me ideas. So it's been really organic, and I think it's such a strange thing. I thought that I would have a different connection with this person and then this other person, but I think him and I work really well, and our sound even works pretty good too, because it's a funk thing that we have. That's our common ground, actually.
And then, one thing I want to add in there is that, I don't know, now that when we released that first EP and whatnot, that was more of just like a fun experience. We were more just playing with it. And now we have a general idea of, hey, this is what we want. And, this is what we're going to do. And I mean, he'll just play a riff. And there actually was this one. It's actually one of our new songs called Come Home and whatnot. And he played it, and I had a little verse going to it, and I really liked it. And I was just like, just keep playing that. And we wrote a whole song in like
A couple minutes,
15 minutes,
dude, yeah.
10 minutes. And
Easy
it's
money.
just phenomenal. And we can't wait to share those with everyone. It's
so
fun.
excited.
Oh, I'm excited to hear it too. So this is unreleased stuff you're talking about?
Yes, unreleased.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, it's gone pretty fast too. I mean, we had another drummer and bass player even before him, and so him and I had to rebuild. And I'm not the original member, so it was really, we're trying to rebuild his thing. And he has school going on. I've been in school and worked for a little bit, so I'm more acclimated to it.
Yeah, because I just started college.
Yeah.
It was my freshman year of college, so it's
Yeah, and
it was
then
really tough.
Within a
getting-
little bit of time, we had you, and then we had another drummer, and then we have a new guy actually who we are super happy to announce. And wait, you were saying something?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to announce the newest member to our band. His name is Will McFarlane. Hey, Will, I hope that you're doing good over there. Fantastic drummer, and we couldn't be more happy to play with him. But yeah, it's been so organic and so fast, and I don't know. I'm so excited to see what comes out of the future. We've already done phase 1. Might as well keep moving. No reason to stop.
That's wonderful. So how long have you guys all been playing together? You say you've been with them a couple months. You've been with them a year.
Yeah. So originally, this comes from you and the first drummer.
Yeah, so originally, me and the first drummer, he also played a little guitar, and then him and I, we played a couple of these shows and we had a little thing going. But we're like, let's expand on this. Let's make this a band. And he was like, I'm gonna stick to my strengths. I'm a drummer, so we get Mateo going, and then we find another bass player, and we just keep going from there. And then we go through rebuild phase. But for all three of us, and including Will McFarland, who isn't here, I mean, Will McFarland is new. He just played a show last Sunday. Like that was his first show with us. But as terms of how long Alexa's been with us, it's been 4 months. It's all very fresh.
I haven't been counting days, but it's about
Time flies, man.
Time does fly.
Yeah. Jeez, man. You've seen us make no money, then you saw us make money, get a studio room. Oh my God. Man. You've been through the best and the worst of it already.
We've been in a closet, then we moved to a room.
Yeah.
Hopefully now we're gonna go to the studio,
Yeah, so we had this one really, really small rehearsal room. It was smaller than this. It was smaller than this room. It was like half of this room.
Yeah.
And that was so tough because we had the drums in the corner. We had some equipment. We had him in there, and then we had Mateo in there, and then I was in there. And I also play keyboard at sometimes at our shows. So I will have to bring that big thing in there, and it was miserable. And then we finally got an upgrade to another room, which is way bigger and so much better for us. And now we're going into a studio.
Indeed.
And so, do y'all like to do what they used to call gang recordings, where you were all like in there recording your individual parts, or do you like to do individual recordings, or does it depend?
So on our first EP, we did what you called a gang recording. We all were in there, and we all did like a live take, and then we would overlay instruments. But I believe for this new project, we're going to do individual recordings and piece by piece. Mateo can sort of...
Yeah. Realistically, I'm not completely sure, and you can call me if I'm wrong, but I think that this is you and Will's first experience in the studio.
Yeah.
I understand how he works. He understands how I work and our strengths and stuff. So I think that we really have to see how to make you guys feel comfortable to give you guys the best performance, whether it's us recording live together, separately with parts. I mean, at the end of the day, we have a whole day mapped out for just layering and nitpicking. So, I mean, it's just you guys telling us what you feel most comfortable in. These aren't just our songs. You guys are part of the band now, man.
Like you said, it is going to be my first time in the studio. Maybe, I don't know about Will. So we'll just see how it goes, man. I wouldn't be too worried about it. I'll just take it as it goes,
Yeah.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun building experience.
Y'all just want to play. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got these really fun songs, and we know there's people who want to hear them, and we enjoy doing this. This is what makes us happy, and we just want to do it.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, man. So can you tell us what was the inspiration behind the artist's name, the lyrics, and your overall style?
So, artist name, that was absolutely crazy how long it took us to come up with Tracing Paces. I mean, we were Voyage at the very beginning, and then we changed to Voyager, and they were like, this name sucks. This name absolutely sucks. We need a different name. So I remember we all went down to a beach house or whatever, and we were all just chilling there in the middle of the night just saying names. And then our old bass was like, what about Beige? Like, what about Beige? I think Beige is a good name. And then we all go home and we're still thinking about it. It's like, you know what? Tracing Paces, I think, is a good idea. And then we keep rolling and listening to some more, and that finally caught our grasp. And then lyrics, the way lyrics come out, it's interesting. Last EP, I sort of took really inspiration from other music. I was really more listening to 80s and stuff then. And I took more inspiration from those songs. I mean, like No More is more like of being done with something or being done with like a relationship, whether it's friendship or whatever. And you're sticking up for yourself, really. So it can be from past experiences for me. But I know for this new record, whenever I get in like a part where I just can't think, I'll go and look at poems every once in a while, and I'll pull some ideas, rearrange and whatnot. And that's really how our lyrics come to be. And that's how our Tracing Paces title came to be.
Hopefully not too many love poems, man.
Yeah.
I hope you read some other type of...
Yeah, well, we could be like Queen and write a song about a car. So.
We could.
All
Maybe
right.
instead of a car, it can be like a motorcycle. You never know.
A boat.
Yeah, a boat.
A boat, yeah.
The color beige.
Yeah?
Yeah, that almost was our name. We're like,
Hey.
that's a good name. Like
We should work that into one of these new tracks, man.
that should be a song name, Beige.
I mean, I would be interested. I'd be like, I don't know.
It's kind of
Like-
quirky.
What does the color beige sound like?
Yeah. So, what sort of elements is important for you guys to have in your music, whether that be kind of effects or specific techniques you like to use?
Do you want to go through the line?
Yeah, we can go through line.
Go ahead, brother.
Me?
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. I think that as together as a band, we should find some sort of structure and through our songs and stuff. So it's not just like you play a part, write it down, then play another part. I think it's important to write in advance after you come up with a riff, right, Mateo? And then you kind of sort of write from there. Like if you come up with a part for the verse, then you come up with a part for the chorus, and then do you just write from there, or do you I don't know. Do you do like, how do you write songs, man?
One thing that I've noticed is that we all sort of pour our own styles into the music. He is a funk guy, and he is more of a funk guy.
Yeah, sort of.
We all put our own styles in there. Like, I'm a classic rock guy. I took a lot of inspiration from like Steve Perry and Lou Gramm from Foreigner and all that. So that's really what I brought to the band, and then that's really how we made all our music sort of our own. We took each aspects of stuff and all put it together, and it came out with some really cool stuff. I mean, I know No More is really far from what Mateo preferred, like what really writes. So when that came out, I was shocked too, not gonna lie. And that's really how we all our music really comes together. Is we all pour our own ideas into it and our own styles. You know what I
Yeah,
think?
I think that you guys kind of hit it on the dot. I don't know, man. To answer your question, I don't particularly have a formula in my head for songs. It depends who's the most inspired by it. If I play a riff and Jason seems to latch onto a lot, I'll give him a little bit more control than I would have myself, because he's very much into it, more than I am most of the time. But I'm not sure. I mean, I think that the riffs that I have come up with really are thanks to my lack of general guitar knowledge, to be honest with you. I mean, if you go ahead and look at the scene, the Houston scene is fantastic, don't get me wrong. But you see all these guitar players, and they're really brilliant guitar players, and they can explain to you the finite details of everything that they're doing, the pedals. Like my friend Ron, fantastic player, and he can tell you the inside of my pedals before I could tell you it. But I think that it's that lack of me knowing that makes me curious to do stuff. So I don't know, I'll play something or certain notes, and it won't inspire me a lot. But if I take time away from it, I'll start hearing stuff in my head, as weird as that sounds. And at some point, I just needed to write. I remember I was in college, actually, taking a class. I think it was math or something like that, right? And I hear this thing in my head, and it's one of the songs that we're writing on. And so I had to tell the teacher, I got to go to the bathroom. I need to go right now, midway through like my final. Go in my car, and for 20 minutes, I'm just recording with the phone and all that. And I'm not sure. It's something innate that I can't explain too well, but it's something pure, and it's visceral, and it's human. And there's mistakes in it a lot of the time that we work it out. But it's something that I can't explain, to be honest with you. It's from something else. I'm not sure, really.
It's just like another sense, like it's not one of your 6 senses or whatever. It is this sense that this energy is flowing through you, and it either leaves your fingertips or your vocals or all your pores, and it's just like music. Yeah.
That was pretty good. We need to...
Backing vocals.
Can we copyright that?
Backing vocals.
use
Here we go.
I'll give that to you for free.
Maybe that's how we start off the record. Music.
Yes.
Ba-ba-ba-tsh.
Hey, it worked for Daft Punk.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff worked for Daft Punk.
What's that
And
song?
so-
Around the World. Is that by them?
Around the
Yeah.
world. Dude, it's so
Yeah.
good. We were listening to Daft Punk on the way here, like old stuff from Homework. And what's the record before that? It's Homework and I think it's Human After All.
Mm-hmm.
Those records are brilliant. And it's so far away from what we write too. Like I was telling our manager or something that I'm gearing up because we start recording on the 17th of February. That on the 17th of this month, I stopped listening to music. So I'm going to have to take off my Spotify and everything because once we start recording and writing music, I can't be around other music.
Really?
Yeah, it's so easy for me to pick up on stuff and be like, I want to do that. And I could, for example, I could steal, I don't know, let's say like, I don't know, Smoke on the Water. And if I put it in a different key, since I don't really know that much about music, to me, it's a new song. And then we'll write on it. But then I hear the song again and it's like, oh my God, that's not original for me. So I like to just be as far away and disconnected from external music and external forces like that whenever I'm writing, just to be pure.
I like that. I like that, man. And I bet some great stuff comes out of it.
Heck yeah.
I think
Hit or
that
miss.
when I first came into the band, you, Mateo, were really inspired by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Extremely.
Same for me, not gonna lie, a little bit. And then when we started just jamming out, everything we played almost resembled Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It's so
And it was
hard,
really
dude.
bad, but you know,
Yeah.
we went through it. We got it going. It sounds way better now. We come up with our own stuff, so
It's so hard to get away from that. It's
it is.
like I start to idealize certain players and like, I mean, some of my gear is based around those guys and you get so into it and so attached. And our old drummer didn't help that at all because he was a Chili Peppers nut too.
Oh my gosh.
So I remember we tried to work his poor soul into playing like Can't Stop and Under the Bridge. And we would take like Journey songs like and swap them for each other. But yeah, no, it's just, it's something weird. It's like you take on the characteristics of what you really love, but I happen to just do that too much. And it's something that I recognize and I need to get away from. But I guess acceptance is the first thing to change, you know?
Kind of reminds me of actors, you know, how they take on a role, but they have to remember to, when they're off the clock, to go back to being themselves.
Yeah.
It's like you're in this creative mode and you're creating this vision, but you have to remember you are human after all.
There you go.
Boop, tsh.
Perfect. Amazing.
I'm sorry.
We can be done right there, and that's perfect. That's
I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
that was brilliant. I love that.
So y'all were telling us about a little bit about how y'all do your studio rehearsals, but what about for live performances? Your drummer just did his first show with y'all and things like that. But I mean, do y'all do certain kind of rituals for rehearsals for live performances?
Alcohol.
No,
That's
Well-
you, Mateo. That's all you.
that's Mateo. As a singer, I stay away from all that stuff. Because, well, not only that, but I go to school I'm a opera singer too.
Wonderful.
I do vocal performance, but we have literally no rituals before shows. Honestly, we practice, head to show. Maybe we'll, I guess, chill together, watch the show before. That's it. I mean, it's nothing. I guess you could say we're just all together. I mean, that's really our ritual, is us all being together, really.
I think it works for us though, man. Because at these shows, you're playing without a net. It's like playing like an acoustic thing where, like, I can't rely on my pedals to sound good. There, we don't have like the click track and like all this stuff to help us out. It's you get it or you don't.
Yeah.
So I don't know, the spontaneity. Sorry, it's really nice, and it works really well. Actually, I think you and I are able to communicate really well. I think it's sometimes you don't understand whatever I'm going,
Yeah.
and like my eye movements, but it's fine. As far as pre-show ritual, I mean, we rehearse. That's it. It's really it. We rehearse and we chat in the group chat, send memes. That's the whole shtick.
Send memes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because it's what keeps us going.
The memes.
Yep.
So far, have y'all had good experiences during sound check with your live sound engineers? No.
The first couple of times, not gonna lie, I haven't been able to hear my instrument at all, like in the recordings afterwards. But it's gotten better since I made sure afterwards that I can hear myself and that others can hear me.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, we've had good experiences, I'd say, and then bad experiences. Like there's times.
I wouldn't say. I mean, was it before?
No,
before
it was during hours. I mean, there's times where like during the sound check, I'll hear myself in the monitors, and then once we start performing, I cannot hear anything, so I'm over singing and whatnot, tire myself out within the first two songs, so I can hear myself. But we've really had good and bad experiences, and honestly, it seems like it's every other show that we have a good and bad experience. So, but all the sound guys are awesome. That's really on me to be more vocal about whether or not my monitor's good enough or whatnot. So, but yeah.
Well, what kind of things have y'all learned since from your good and bad experiences that you think are helpful to you now to put on a more successful live show in the future?
I'd honestly say the one thing is being more vocal. I'll try and tell them, if you need anything, just tell me, and I'll say it to the sound guy. And after song, I actually did it at our last show. If I can't hear myself, I'll be like, "Hey, can you please turn me up more?" That's the same thing, I've let them know, if they need anything, just let me know, and I'll tell them to turn us up. And that's really it. We're trying to get our new drummer on board with that and getting him used to it, because that's our biggest challenge right now, is getting him used to those live performances and whatnot. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Excellent. So let's talk about some of these gems that you've been leaving with us with. So you released your self-titled EP called Tracing Paces. Can you tell us more about that?
Would you like to elaborate a little bit?
I would love to elaborate a little bit. So initially, because I'm pretty sure that we had lost a couple members towards the end of it because school, some people had to move away. So we were left with with the original members and me. And so we're chatting about it, and they're throwing ideas at each other, and it's one of those things where just it doesn't sound right. It's like the beige thing. Like, you're either trying too hard and then you mess it up, or you're not trying enough and you're not trying to do something successful. You're trying to get it done. So they were throwing ideas, and it clicked in my head, because whenever I did this type of stuff, I said, why don't we structure like a story? So Feel is the first song on the record, and I'm more in tune with a relationship in this record. So,
yeah.
You remember what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it builds like a story of a relationship, like a person. If you listen to it, it works. So at the end of it, I had said, guys, we're thinking too much. You're tracing, like you're going back and doing the work that was already there, and you're hitting your paces again. Like you're moving, like you're unsteady, but you keep doing it. It's the same thing as this record. If you put it on repeat, it's going to go from good to bad, and it works. It's just one of those things that it just clicked in my head when we were talking about it, and I was adamant to just keep it simple. Plus, most bands have their self-titled debut. It only made sense to me, and I try to make that a point to them.
Yeah, I remember that. I think the actual EP order is Feel, Hold On, Too Late, No More Than Heal. And yeah, Feel's the starting of a relationship. Hold On is it going through its up and downs. Too Late is the bad sides are obvious, but you're still trying to make it work. No More is saying no more. And then Heal is y'all coming together and really
Healing.
Yeah. It's pretty, yeah. Heal and No More, a little self-explanatory. So, but yeah. Those, I enjoyed making those tracks. And putting them in that order was awesome, because originally we're just going to let's just put them in whatever order. We'll put Hold On and No More first, but to make it have meaning, and it was really awesome for us to do.
I agree with you completely. I think it wouldn't have been so special and so rewarding if we didn't do that. I mean, you see a lot of records that it's just one thing, but then you get stuff like I don't know, like The Who with Tommy, where it's one big story and a bunch of other stuff. And although this isn't on the grand level of such acts and, works, it is to us because we know the work that we put into it. I mean, we're recording like late. I was working 2 jobs, had full-time school, and I would still try to come out here. Sometimes he would come out of like the recording booth and our drummer would come out of it sweating and tired. Like, we put work into it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we're going in 5-hour stretches into the studio, and I had school too, and I had some school competitions and whatnot going on with it, and I know that's not as much as 2 jobs and all that, but for me, that was that was a lot to me, and it was very rewarding, and having to stay back and still do all those late nights and all that, and not only that, but the money. That's the biggest thing. The money that was put into it.
Still suffering.
Yep, still suffering. Still paying off that debt. And to see how rewarding it is and how well received it is really makes it all worth it to me and whatnot. And even if it wasn't as well received, I'm still happy because, we made music that we enjoyed and made us happy. So it was such a good experience.
I agree.
Money well spent.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that you think so.
Thank you very much.
These people be spending, and some ladies, they be spending $300 on a purse. Like, I would never. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't understand. It does not compute. I will throw money at you if you tell me somebody's going to play some good music. I'm like, okay, like, we have to clip. I don't care, honey. I'm going. I'm spending. That is worth it. Okay.
And that's one thing we've kind of sort of started to manage better as we go into this new record. With the drummer leaving, before we were practicing at his house, our oldest drummer. But now, after he left, we had to buy a rehearsal space. But now that we're going into the studio, we're cutting the rehearsal space so we can save that money and put it into the the new tracks. So we've learned a lot from this whole experience and from that whole first EP, honestly, and how to manage ourselves better. Our drummer does some looking around at some studios we can look at, and then we stumble upon a Sound Art studio run by a man named Brian, and we were really happy with his work. He did make us work for our music, though. I mean, he would definitely give us the critiques and all that needed to be done, and he'd make us work for it. But it paid off having us wait and put in that work for the music.
It's always good, to have an engineer that's not being trying to tell you what to do, but is trying to be like, that was a good take, but we could do a little bit better. Things like that, because that means they really care. If they're just like, oh yeah, man, that was fire, woo, next, nah, no, probably not someone you want to trust.
Yeah,
and that's why I enjoyed working with Brian. I know he didn't have the greatest experience, but I really liked that because I liked having someone who would actually give us insights and say, hey, that was a little sloppy. Let's run it again. And
Mateo, I don't think Mateo likes critiques at all. But
it was the
he'll
worst.
Get used to it.
The thing was that I come from School of Rock, and over there I was the oldest, and so I was very motivated. So I'm already up here, and it was my fault. It's an ego thing. So I'm thinking I'm on top of the world. I'm in a dope band. I'm writing all the songs, and then whenever this guy comes up and he says, "You need to redo it again." What?
What do you mean?
Are you serious? Me? So it's just my ego, and I wasn't used to working so hard. I mean, I've made my demos like digitally with fake amplifiers and stuff. And to me, that's like, okay, like I know somebody would listen to it. But for well-produced stuff and stuff that will sell good or sound good, whatever, you need to work hard. And I didn't understand it. I was immature. I mean, we were doing so much stupid stuff. Like, I don't know. But now that I'm mature, like I can look back at it. And I have a lot of friends who worked with Brian and they had really good experiences. And luckily they were good at their instrument. I was not the best guitar player, not half as good as I am nowadays, I think. And so to have to consistently work and put in like hours and hours and hours again, it's like, oh my God, I hate this guy. but I loved him at the end of it. Nowadays, I love him. Fantastic guy. And great, like, engineer, producer. He's brilliant at what it does. And it shows because he's got one of the longest running places and one of the most respected. So all respect to Brian. I'm sorry that you had to see the little bitch side of me, man. Hopefully next time I'll be better. I've been practicing my scales.
I've heard it from engineers and from musicians and music teachers. They're saying they're like, it is a love-hate thing, teaching somebody or just like sometimes, working with another musician on a technique or a craft because we all have our own ideas,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, y'all respect each other because it's like, I only give you crap because I care. It's only because you're worth it that I give you so much of this crap. And it's true because if they didn't think you had talent, they'd be like, oh, yeah,
Whatever.
it's great. Here's your sticker, good job. And
give me the money and buy. Yeah. It was good. I appreciate Brian. I think that he understood how hard we were working, and I almost want to say he liked the music because certain songs that we would play that to us were B-sides, whatever. He'd say, "Is that a single? Are you sure that's not a single?" And like he tried to stir us in that direction. But I think ultimately he was the guy for that record, and I think he did a brilliant job. He taught us a lot. That's why I'm very confident going into this next record. I think I've learned from the boss. I know now. I learned from him. I can just keep learning now. But I'm not a kid anymore. I think I got a grasp now.
Okay. I feel you. Oh, that's wonderful, man. That's such a rewarding moment too.
Yeah. Extremely rewarding after all the another take, change the pedals, another guitar. Oh my God, Brian. I love him though. He was fantastic at what he does.
So you guys have already been performing at some of Houston's finest, including BFE Rock Club, White Oak Music Hall, House of Blues, Numbers.
Yeah.
How have these shows been thus far, man?
They have been fantastic, honestly. White Oak and House of Blues we both reached out to about, and we've played White Oak twice, both with the company called GTS Productions.
Yeah.
And those shows were phenomenal. I absolutely loved playing in there. The first time at White Oak, we played in one of the upstairs, one of the smaller stages. And we were a 6-man band at the time. So it was crammed on that stage. And then we got another call from them. And we had the opportunity to play at the downstairs stage. And that show was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. We had space. There was a good crowd. Beautiful venue. So that was phenomenal. And then over our tour over the past summer, we got reached out to from a House of Blues person. And that was just phenomenal as well. I mean, we went in the Foundation room and then we played in the Bronze Peacock room. And it was phenomenal. It was so much fun, walking into our first real green room and backstage room with TV. It was like, oh my gosh, it was phenomenal. And we were like, oh my God. I remember we were all taking videos like, oh my gosh, look at this. We're watching the fight right now on TV. And it was like, until we played it. And it was just an absolute blast. And, we love BFE and all that. They have been absolutely blast as well. I mean, there's been some phenomenal crowds that come out, and the sound people there and just the people there in general are awesome. I love the people at BFE. And it's always a great time to play at BFE and all those other places. I cherish all the times we go there. And Numbers too, because my mother, my stepfather, all have been to Numbers. It is such a reputable nightclub, and to go there and play on the stage where David Bowie, the Chili Peppers, I believe, have played, it's just phenomenal. I got to take it in.
I didn't know about that, but
yeah.
I did love playing in Numbers personally. For other shows that I've been playing at, there haven't been much, like the stages have been really small, and I haven't had much space to move around. So I really loved that about Numbers, and it was really fun playing with them because you can just have all the fun you want on that big stage. So
you want to go back on the 19th?
The 19th?
You want to go back?
We actually
for sure.
have a show opportunity on the 19th of February for Numbers.
Ooh, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And we love it. The stage is phenomenal. I mean, there were lights running through it, and it's just an awesome venue. I love Numbers, and I always try and take in my surroundings and thinking, hey, I'm on this same stage where someone else has been, and it's just numbers is always a great experience for me.
Oh, numbers.
Everyone I know has been there.
Yeah, I was there when I was your age. I was clubbing when I was your age over there. So yeah, I probably ran into your parents, probably. But it's all good. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, man. So you guys have also performed with some other, a lot of different local artists here from Houston, including previous guests that were on the podcast, the Kiddos.
Yes, sir.
So how's your experience been working with other artists on the scene?
Do you want to?
Sure. So I think the show that I remember connecting with, like, and making friends with people, because I'm not sure about you guys as much, but in the beginning, I wasn't as cocky as I was towards the end of the record. But I'm a very shy guy in the beginning, and I got to meet Darcy Segura, formerly from Everglades, and Brandon. And Brandon is now like our advisor guy. I call him the boss too. Anytime that Jason will tell me, you don't know what you're talking about, I'm like, no, I learned from the boss. I know what I'm doing. But we met those guys. We got to meet Violet Theory there. We've met a lot of the people who I think are now some of both my best friends and some of my coworkers, essentially. Like, I mean, we've connected so much with so many artists and made so many friends over this that I'm so thankful for. Like, even whenever we released our record, like playing with Reg and Violet Theory, it's something that I'm never gonna forget, man. It was amazing.
For all the other bands that he's talking about, I haven't known them as long as they have. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure we played with them a couple of times.
Yeah.
They've all been really nice. They're all incredible, like, and talented people.
Yeah.
And really nice too. So right now, I don't have the best of gear, as Mateo knows, and Jason. My amplifier is like this little tiny amp. So some of those bands have let me use their amps on stage before, and I thought that was really nice. So credit to them. You know,
there's so many, just, not even just beautiful musicians, but beautiful characters in this scene, and I'm sure that I haven't even really met half of them. Like, I am dying to play a show with Orion, Pinky Promise, Gray Falls, Dante's Room. I want to go back with Violet Theory. Like, there's so many things that I want to do, and I'm more than positive these people are beautiful people. And I don't know, they're incredible. I'm such a fangirl of these bands. I love the scene, and I listen to it probably more than I do real music or loud music or live or whatever. I love these guys. It's a blessing to be in this scene. There's nothing better than this. Maybe Austin. That's about it that I can think about.
Well, I know Austin has, 6th Street, and, they have, South by Southwest, things like that,
Yes.
whatever. Well, we just had our first ever Loud Fest here in Houston, which was a collective of 97.9 The Box, which is a collective of a bunch of Houston local artists and things like that, But I really do love our Houston music scene. We got some wide variety and very, very talented individuals here.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't know. It boggles my mind. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, and I stole my brother-in-law's guitar and a Sex Pistols record. And I remember, oh my God, and I couldn't catch it on. I was not a natural guitar player. I tried playing bass because I quit guitar, and then I go back to it. And I don't know, man. It's so cliche, but I would see it in the mirror, and I'd be playing, and I was like, this is something that I want to do. I love this. And now to be able to play on stages with some of my best friends, and it's amazing. I never thought that it would come up to here. Because you always get fed the thing about you got to be a lawyer, you got to be a doctor, whatever. And it's cool. That stuff, it might happen. We never know. I'm doing this right now for fun, and just, it's a driving thing. But I have time to be a lawyer. I have time to be a doctor. But there's not going to be another time where I'm this young and that I'm so enamored by this. It drives me crazy, to be honest with you. Jason knows it. Like, it's insane. I've never been so committed to anything and so driven to do anything than just make music with a bunch of my best friends.
And I mean, what else do you want?
There's nothing to add to that. There's no.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today, man.
Anytime.
Anytime, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Do you
It was
mind
really
if I
fun.
say hi to some of our friends and contemporaries again?
No.
Okay. Do you guys want to go first? Y'all got some mentions? Or y'all got 30 minutes
My
for me
mom.
to say hi to everybody? Your mom?
Yeah.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Mom.
Say hi to your moms.
Oh,
Dang
Hi,
it.
God.
Mom. I love you.
What's up, mama? No, but I really, like, I don't know. I'd go fangirling again, but I want to give a huge shout out to Violet Theory, to Brandon, to Regbag, Dante's Room, Great Falls, Pinky Promise, Lucid Illusions, 307, all of these guys in the Houston scene. You guys really keep it going. You guys keep it fresh, alive, and I'm so thankful to have met and gotten to befriend all of you guys. And thank you for letting us on here. It's really been such a pleasure to be on here. I'm so excited to do more stuff here if we can, once we release the record, whatever it is. It's been such a pleasure doing everything that we've gotten to do. And I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't be happier than where I'm at.
Yeah.
There's nothing more for me here.
That's
I love
awesome.
it, dude. This is amazing for me.
Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys. And shout out to all the musicians that he mentioned and also to the kiddos.
To the
Okay?
kiddos, yes.
All right. Y'all keep spreading that fire around, son. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. And we will talk to you guys next week. Peace.
Bonne nuit. Bye-bye.